I did not
We have known each other for 15 years, and I have not once heard her use the word accumulated.
Welcome to the Seriously Show. On this week's episode, I'm giving you a little update on my allergy situation. Also, David and I are officially old with how we spent our parents' night out.
I've got to take a driver's test pretty soon, so Morgan tests my knowledge.
And we have the funniest moment on the Seriously Show thus far. What's up, Dave?
What's up, Morg?
Doesn't it just feel relaxing to have no music that makes you want to gouge your eyes out?
It's not that bad, but I agree. Let's go. No music today. Listen how silent it is.
Kind of scary. Well, I'm in a fantastic mood today. I'm just excited to sit and talk with you. You look so cute in your little fleece.
It's a Saturday. We started recording before 2 p.m. for a change.
Yes, and we have lots of life updates to give to you, including my allergy journey, where we left off last week because, as you know... Back to square one,
basically.
Pretty much. I mean, as you know, worst day of my life, found out last week I'm allergic to my dog, Harley. Knife to the heart. I mean, just... What could be worse?
Pretty brutal. I do feel for you.
Well, I've been trying to, fix some things. I've switched up my routine. And as you know, I deep cleaned the house, right? Because all this post-nasal stuff going on, you can still hear it's there, but it's getting a little bit better. So one of our listeners sent me a DM at the Seriously Show on Instagram, and they said, what are you taking and when are you doing it? And I'm like, I'm taking Claritin in the morning, a couple spritz of the nose sprays just to really get the wheels turning.
You love a nasal spray.
And sometimes I do a neti pot if I'm feeling crazy.
Not the neti.
With 2 packets of the little salt solution to just get it all up in there.
Take it easy.
But they were like, no, Morgan, you need to take your allergy medicine at night. And I was like, well, why would I take it at night? And she's like, and you need to take Zyrtec. Zyrtec helps more with the postnasal drip than Claritin, but you got to take it at night because it causes drowsiness. So I started taking it at night. Does cause drowsiness. As you know, I've been a dead corpse for the past, how many days?
Eye mask, mouth tape, Claritin.
No, Zyrtec.
Zyrtec.
But I'm like, Dave, why can I wake up in the morning? I am out cold to the universe. Well, now I realize it's because I'm taking that Zyrtec and it's knocking me out.
Don't mix the Zyrtec with the 5 mg melatonins.
Right. I also got to take them MGs, the 5 MGs. Haven't taken them though since I started this, new routine. I do take my prebiotics and probiotics to make sure that the gut health is in check. Because if I don't take that, I'm all out of whack. And then I do wake up in the morning and I do a little sprit, and it's helped. I mean, haven't you been able to tell there's a slight difference in my voice?
Yeah, I would say if there was like a scale of intervals between each cough, it's widening.
It's getting
bigger.
It's
widening.
Now, here is the tricky part about it, Dave, because you are not convinced that I'm actually allergic to the dog.
I wouldn't say you're completely not allergic to the dog. I just don't think it's the main cause.
Well, here's what's got my wheels turning, Dave. As you know, I went to Nashville last week.
Mm-hmm.
I flew into Nashville Tuesday night, was there all day on Wednesday, and then came back on Thursday morning. I still had the same problems in Nashville.
Harley didn't travel with you, did you?
Harley did not travel with me. I had clean clothes. I didn't take my allergy medicine because I'm like, I'm in a new city. It's not going to matter. Still had the same situation.
In a hotel room that gets deep cleaned daily.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the ragweed. Maybe ragweed spikes in Nashville or maple trees.
Yeah, maybe it's the Canadian maple trees that we have in our backyard, apparently.
So I don't know. Jury's still out, but someone also told me to go visit an ENT. And I think I might do that.
Throat.
Yes, good job, honey. You're
Yes.
so smart.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
But we're working on it. We're trying. We're gaining a little bit of momentum. I'm sad because I have not.
And you're being proactive.
Yes.
You're doing stuff.
Because I'm miserable.
Yeah.
I don't want to live like this anymore. It might really make us hit our deductible rather quickly in the year 2025. But isn't
True
that the point?
Healthcare. Woo.
That's a story for a whole other day because Dave had no idea how the American healthcare system worked.
Yeah. Well,
Still don't really?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a grasp for it now because I'm a US employee of the company I work for. I get healthcare benefits. So then they give you a list of options. And it was like, what the heck do I choose? But
yeah,
basically got to the point where just use it or lose it, basically.
Yeah, but in the UK, how does the healthcare system work?
Free, well, it's just national healthcare. So you pay taxes, obviously, but you don't pay to go see the doctor. It's crazy, though. It has its pros and cons.
What are the pros?
The pros
you obviously
are,
don't pay for it.
Yeah, you feel like, oh, I've got a cold, I'm going to go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But your local doctor will have a very long waiting list. So sometimes you could be sick today and only see your doctor in 2 weeks' time when you feel better.
Right.
So I started doing the FaceTime doc. And you
Teledoc? Phone a doc? Phone a friend?
Call it a docky doc. Something like that. But there were so many options starting to come into the market that I would get an appointment within 4 hours. Just say, hey, yo, nose is not great. Oh, get a little bit of that spritz, as Morgan would say.
Okay, well, how do you feel about now being an American citizen and like, are you confused by the American healthcare system?
Oh, absolutely. Still very confused. And
I mean, I've lived here for 32 years and I'm confused.
And we're lucky enough to where I'm full-time employed and we have the company I work for has healthcare benefits.
Yeah.
God forbid you don't have healthcare benefits. What the heck do you do?
Good question. Good question. I mean, even still, like when I was at my old job and I had a different healthcare plan, and this is crazy too, like I would get medical bills in the mail and they weren't real. They were scams.
Yeah, you kept getting phishing mails.
So it's like, how do you even know?
Yeah, it's so rough, man.
I know.
I don't know.
We're going to have to ask ChatGPT, like, how does the American healthcare system
Oh, don't worry.
work?
I asked ChatGPT about how to choose my healthcare plan when I was presented with the options.
What'd they say?
It's so subjective. It's based on your situation.
Right.
If you have kids, it's different. If you're single, it's different. If you have a chronic illness, it's different. You need to choose something different. So you have to pick something based on your situation, but it's all relative and it's all like just try it for a year and see which one was the best.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of where we're at right now.
Just going for it.
All right, enough about me. What's up with you, Dave?
Let's talk about that parents' night out that we had. Little day trip to Toledo, Ohio. We're really spreading our wings.
We're flying, baby. We didn't take the truck, but we were in White Betty, and we were ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, we took a little staycation. 2-hour drive to?
Yeah, well.
To Toledo, Ohio.
Was it a 2-hour drive or was it a 2.5-hour drive?
No. It was a 2-hour, 20-minute drive.
Or was it a 2-hour, 45-minute drive?
No. It was a 2-hour drive according to the maps.
So basically what I'm getting at is Dave missed an exit because he was not paying attention whatsoever. I mean, he was in his own little world, just free birding, driving down the highway.
What were we listening to a podcast or were we
No, I
listening
think
to
we
music?
were jamming out, but you just like completely missed the exit. And, I'm working on... I have a short fuse. I really do.
It was such a test of your patience.
It was a test of my patience. And like I did blow a fuse a little bit. I mean, I wasn't like yelling at you, but I was agitated. I was like, Dave, you just missed the exit. And now we got 20 more minutes of this trip. My bladder was getting ready to burst.
So when we left, I normally don't put the alerts on the Apple CarPlay maps because my watch will vibrate every time we need to turn.
Techie Dave.
So I this time I was like, I really don't want to upset Morgan. So I thought I'd turn on the alerts for it to speak to me when we needed to turn.
Uh-huh.
So I stopped paying attention to the vibrations because I was like, oh, it's good. We're fine. It's going to tell me when to turn. And we were jamming out to something. The mood was good. Vibes were good.
The sun was out. Like the sky was blue for once.
It was we were ready for a good night out. We were going to see Theo Von's stand-up show. We were so excited, about to check into the hotel, and it was the last exit that we needed to take on the highway before getting into Toledo. And I'm in like the fast lane. There's like 300 trucks between us and the exit. And Morgan goes, yeah, let me tell you, the exit. And I'm like, trying to play it cool. I look at the recalculated time. I was like, oh, look, it's only and you're like 25 minutes more. So then I do the math and I do the maths and I say, it's actually only 13 minutes. I'm trying to calm the energy levels went from like zero.
The tension was high.
I was surrounded by Morgan tension and I didn't know what to do. I was like, it's only 13 minutes. It's only 13 minutes. We'll be fine. Pure silence for 13 whole minutes.
Okay, but these are the things that you don't think about. And
I know.
I would say that this is what men don't think about.
Okay.
Is that when you get to the hotel, you have to check in, you have to find a place to eat because we did not make dinner reservations.
That's a good point. We left when I finished work. The show started at
like 7 or 8.
Doors opened at 7, show started at 8. Theo started at 9, but you have to be in there at 8.
Right.
And we're driving into Toledo at like 6 p.m.
Yeah. And you also didn't think about, you're like, it's fine. We'll just like walk somewhere to eat. I'm like, it's an event. Like there are tens of thousands of people walking around Toledo, which
it took us 35 minutes to get into the venue.
Yeah, isn't that big of a city anyway? So I was like, I don't want to be rushed. Now I'm going to be rushed. We might not have time to eat. I had one moment of like, and then I just like, I told myself, simmer. Just simmer it down.
Simmer it down.
There's nothing you can do. Don't make your husband feel guilty about an honest mistake. It's not like he meant to. And just chill out.
And I was pulling out all the stops for a recovery. Honey, let me drop you off at the reception of the hotel.
Yeah.
I'll go park the car. I will walk across the street. You start getting ready. I walked upstairs to the restaurant in the hotel and I was like, do you have any reservations? To try and save time to not have to drive to another place to eat. Fortunately, we got in at one of the bar stools at the hotel restaurant, so that saved us some time. And like, see, honey, we're good.
And it did all work out. It all worked out. We got into the venue. We got some snacks. We sat in our seat with plenty of time to spare. Yes. So I'm sorry.
And then what happened after the show? We caught ourselves in a little line dancing bar, baby.
Yeah, we're in Toledo. We don't get out much.
Yeah.
Like, I am such a homebody. I love staying home. That's my idea of a perfect night is just watching a movie, getting Five Guys, eating it on the couch, and, calling it a night. Dave's like, come on, we're in Toledo.
No. That was you. You said, hey, let's go check out the town.
Yeah, I mean, just
and
for a
I'm
moment.
normally the one to say that, but because you said it, I was like, okay, let's go.
Also, comedy shows aren't as long as like a concert.
Right.
So it was only like 9:30 by the time that we got out of the show.
No, it wasn't.
It was not
It was
late.
like 10:30. He only started at 9.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was like 10:30. We were just like, let's just see what the vibe is. Let's pop around, So we walk into this place and it is like a full-on line dancing. Which
we literally walk in and there's a crew. Like the age differences are, there's like 21-year-olds and like 49-year-olds. No, actually 60-year-olds. How did I do?
Oh, pretty good.
And I'm up in there like a tourist with my phone out. Like, how cool is this? I'm literally texting my family in South Africa going, check this out. We found ourselves in a line dancing bar. And Morgan's like, yeah, I guess it's just a thing that they do. Yeah.
Okay, but also...
I was having a great time.
But also, I mean, have you ever seen like people line dancing in a place?
Yeah, I have, but I didn't expect it to like downtown Toledo. It didn't look like the kind of place that had line dancing.
Yeah.
I just think it was a coincidence. They had like a club and they had shown up that night.
We also have hit just like peak grandma and grandpa status. Because while everyone's around there having a good time, line dancing to like Flow Rida. It wasn't even like country music. They had all these dances to all these different songs. All we did was check our Ring cameras to see what the movement was behind the house and in front of the house. We were like, should we see what's going on at the house? Let's check our front cameras. Let's check our back cameras. We saw some deer in the front yard. We saw some squirrels in the backyard. And like, that's how we spent our night out, checking our Ring cameras. But that's not the only time that we've done it, because typically our Saturday morning we have a slow wake up and then we go out to brunch. Anytime that we're out at brunch and we leave Hartley at home, we don't sit there and have conversation with each other. We check the indoor cameras to make sure that Harley is okay.
Yeah. And sometimes we speak to him through the camera and he goes,
like the little head tilt. He doesn't understand. But that kind of makes me feel like we're ready for parenthood.
okay.
Because that's what happens when you have a child. You
leave them at home while you're in Toledo and you look at them on the camera? Yeah, sounds about right.
No, but like if you go out for a date night or something, everything I've heard from my friends or my sister, anybody who has kids, is they're so excited to get out and have a moment for just the two of them. But while they're there, they're texting the babysitter. Right. Is Harley okay? What's he doing? Does he need food? Is he crying? You know, all of these things. So I feel like our maturity level and responsibility level is there to have a child, because that's how we already feel about our own little fur baby when we're out.
Is this like me pitching you for the truck? You're pitching me for a kid?
No, not yet.
Okay.
He's nervous. He's got the nervous giggles. Look at the nervous Don't worry. Not ready to have a child yet. I say like 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. Huh. Okay.
But the weird part about that is that you have to take into account that I had to be pregnant for 9 months.
Yeah, that is true.
So
that's
like,
how it works.
Does that mean that we maybe start trying next year?
Well, I think the thing is that there's never going to be a perfect time. We did not plan to talk about this. There's never going to be a perfect time, but both of us know that it's not now.
Yeah. I'm not ready to settle down. Like, my wings are still
I'm not ready to
high.
not be able to go to Toledo and miss an exit.
Exactly. Actually for me, it's more about how much traveling we do. Because this year alone, we are going to Scotland. We want to go to Dubai. We're going to South Africa. You know, we just like to go on a dime. I'm not ready to give that up yet.
Yeah. And not only is it the flexibility to travel, it's also like double income, no kids allows you to
dinks, baby. We're
make
dinks,
it happen.
Baby.
Because we're not going to be able to do that forever when you're paying for kids and whatnot.
No. So, anywho, that's how we spent our parents' night out. And I thought, whenever you miss the exit, I thought that was a perfect opportunity to tell the people what the deal is with your current driving situation.
So, when I wasn't a permanent resident of the United States, I could enter the US as a British citizen because I was living in London, born in England, raised in South Africa. I could enter the country for 90 days at a time, 90-day fiance, the whole deal. And when you have tourist status, I just said status and not
status.
Yeah.
Status. Say it again.
Status. When you enter the country with tourist status, your foreign driver's license is still valid. So when I was spending 3 months at a time here, just living it up as a long-term tourist, I would just do that. And I didn't realize that once you become a permanent resident of the state of Ohio, for more than 30 days, you have to get a state driver's license. So I have not technically been driving fully legal.
Fully legal? Is that the way you're really going to...
For the last few months.
Is that really how you're going to frame it?
And a friend of ours told me that they had moved here and they immediately got their state driver's license. And it made me start thinking, do I need to do that? So ChatGPT, can I use my UK license in the US if I'm a permanent resident? And it's basically like, no, once you become a permanent resident, you need a state driver's license. So I have to take the full-on written test to get the, what do you call it here? We call it a learner's permit.
Yeah, permit.
A permit. And then I have to go and take the actual practical driving test.
Okay, but my question is because, when you're 16 here and you're taking your driver's permit test, you have to wait. You get your permit and then you do it for like 6 months. You have your permit and then you take your driver's test.
Well, I'm not treated as a under 18 learner. It's just in order for me to apply for a practical driving test, I have to present a learner's permit.
So you can get your learner's permit and then the same day go and take your driving test.
Correct.
But you have to get in the car with a driving instructor.
Yep. At the age of 34, having driven for 16 years.
Do a 3-point turn, parallel park, you get graded, and then you get your driver's license.
Yep.
And you also
exactly.
have to still take the written test.
Fortunately, you can do the written test online. They make you turn on your webcam and they take a picture of you like every 30 seconds to make sure you're at your desk and you're not like looking at other stuff. And if you get, what is it? I think it's 10% wrong.
Yeah, something like that.
You fail.
Can I tell you something so embarrassing?
Go ahead.
I don't know if I want to say it because people are going to think I'm stupid.
No, you're so young when you take that test.
I failed my written test 6 times.
I've got to have something to help you out here. Do it again. Say it again.
I failed my driver's test 6 times. Very funny.
That is intense.
I had such bad test anxiety for that specific test. In school, straight A student, like never even had to study. I just was able to take tests and get good grades. My driver's test, I have no idea. I don't know if it was like in West Virginia, they were trying to trick me all the time, but that's how I felt. I felt like they were all trick questions. There could have been more than one right answer, but one was like 5% more right than the other answer. So they told me, they're like, if you fail this test one more time, you can't get your permit for a year.
That is crazy.
So that's how I went in to my 7th attempt at my permit test. I passed, thankfully. Okay. I'm like crying, tears of joy, right? I get out and they're like, okay, so you can take your driver's test, but you have to pass the eye exam, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Failed the eye exam. And that's how I figured out I needed glasses. Can you believe that? But it's so stupid, too.
What did you tell your parents? And then what did they say?
I told my parents for years, I can't see the board at school. I think I need glasses. They're like, move up. I'm like, are you serious? So that's what I did. I moved up. I sat in the front row. Maybe that's why I was able to get good grades in school. And then at 16 years old, I'm like, I've been telling you guys for years that I can't see and that I need glasses.
So first you get all these good grades in school. And you're like, oh, I'll pass the permit test easy.
Yeah.
Fail it 6 times, then pass it, then fail
the
test.
eye exam.
Unbelievable.
Well,
what was the culture like though at that age? Was there a lot of pressure to get your driver's license?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because in South Africa you can only get a learner's license at 17 and you can get a driver's at 18.
Okay.
And like it is everybody's life goal.
Oh yeah.
The day you turn 18, get that driver's license.
For sure.
Get on the road.
And you're always like buddying up to the people that get their license before everybody else.
Right.
Who's going to drive us to Chick-fil-A after school?
Who's going to drive us to IHOP when I meet you in West Virginia?
I mean, there you have it. So I thought it would be fun now that we have this podcast going on to give you a permit test today.
I need to practice. Let's go for it.
Okay, let me get the goods.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so much for that 20 minutes on the couch.
Did it get on your laptop? We're back, folks. We hope you enjoyed that one.
That was crazy.
That was pretty crazy. It's funny because, 2 episodes ago, we talked about... I talked about how stoked I was for finding this table on Amazon. I forgot to mention that it's not the most stable.
Yeah. Okay, anywho, are you ready for your mock permit test?
Let's do it. I have practiced a few things online, and I got a lot wrong.
Did you? Okay, well, you should know that there are 4 options, okay, to the question.
Okay, go.
What are you doing? What is that?
In school, when you show the teachers you're ready, hand on head, fingers on lips.
Okay, ready? Here's question number 1. What a dumb question. I don't like this question.
And you wonder why you failed 6 times.
Okay, well, you'll understand.
You open the thing and you're like, what a dumb question.
Okay, well, you'll understand. If you plan to drive after drinking, everyone should be aware that alcohol first affects A, your alertness, B, your judgment, C, your hearing, or D, your vision.
It could be many of those things. Alertness. What was the options?
First affects alertness, judgment, hearing, or vision.
Judgment.
Judgment is correct.
Yes.
Okay, but how dumb is this question? If you plan to drive after drinking, you shouldn't be driving after you're drinking.
Right.
So now you understand why I thought it was a dumb question.
I thought one of the options was going to be you shouldn't drink and drive.
No, that's not. Okay, are you ready? Question number 2. While driving, if you are approached from any direction by an emergency vehicle using its flashing lights and or sirens, you must A, speed up so that you will not get in the way. B, stop and let the emergency vehicle go around. C, ignore and continue to your destination. Or D, pull over to the right and stop until the emergency vehicle has passed.
D, pull over to the right and wait for the vehicle to pass.
Correct.
Yes.
Play the claps, play the claps. Okay, you're 2 for 2. Question number 3. You are required to stop at a railroad crossing with lights and mechanical gates when A, the railroad crossing lights are flashing. B, the parking lot near the crossing is full. C, the mechanical gates are up. Or D, when you hear the train's horns.
What was the first one was about the lights? Yeah. And this is a big problem in Ohio. We have so many train tracks around us. Every time I'm stopped at one, I take a video and I'm like, look how cool this is, guys.
A is the correct answer.
Woo!
Okay, 3 for 3. When driving during the daytime in fog, rain, or smoke, you must A, avoid using any lights at all. B, turn on your parking lights. C, turn on your high beam headlights. Or D, turn on your low beam headlights.
Well, fog lights wasn't an option in there, was it? I think it's just normal headlights, normal headlamps, or whatever the option was.
That's not an option.
What was D?
Your low beam headlights.
Low beams. That's what I mean. Low beams.
That is right. Okay,
Yes.
well, this was really hard, much harder when I was 16 years old in Beckley, West Virginia.
Can I tell you a secret?
You've taken this test before.
Almost every one of these questions you've read, I remember practicing.
Okay, well, that's not fair.
What are you on the same website?
Firsttimedriver.com.
I think I did the
Okay,
same
here,
one.
this is
Can
actually...
you not like randomize? Because maybe I
No.
just got the first ones as well.
No, this is how I'll know if you did this before.
Yeah.
You are required to signal before making any turn at least 300 feet in advance, 75 feet in advance, 200 feet in advance, or 100 feet in advance.
Yo. See, this is tough because now you're getting to specifics. I'm going to go with D, 100.
You have done this test before.
Yes.
You've done this test before.
Randomize. Give
I
me
can't.
one
There's
more.
only 10 questions on the thing, and you've done them all.
Oh, it was the same. It was the same 10.
Well, I mean, you studied, so I guess should I ask ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Write
Give me a
5
random-
hard driver's test questions and tell me the answers.
Because that is like the preview test that website uses to make you buy the full thing.
Right. It was the first one I saw that wasn't sponsored, and I just
Right.
clicked on that. I guess you did too. This is funny, and this is a full circle moment. If you miss your exit on the highway, what should you do? A, stop and back up carefully. B, make a U-turn at the next emergency crossover. C, continue to the next exit and find a safe way to return. Or D, pull onto the shoulder and wait for an opening in traffic.
Or E, listen to Morgan complain about you missing the exits, try get the mood back down to level, and get to the hotel within 13 minutes. I didn't hear any of those options.
A, stop and back up carefully. B, make a U-turn at the next emergency crossover. C, continue to the next exit and find it.
C, continue to the next exit.
That's right. That's not a hard question, ChatGPT. That's like the easiest question in the world. What do you think? What do you think he's going to do? Pull onto the shoulder and wait for an opening in traffic to do a UE?
Nope.
Okay, well, I'm happy that you're going to pass your driver's test, but I just still feel a little dumb that I failed mine 6 times.
It's time for the Seriously Award of the Week.
Woo!
So one of these days, we had, as like old people now, we had planned some adult extracurricular activities. But I'm downstairs watching YouTube, watching golf YouTube. You're in bed. And now it's time for me to come upstairs. And in that time, which
had been an hour and a half, okay? An hour and a half of him watching YouTube, getting sucked down the YouTube rabbit hole.
So I walk
It's midnight at this point.
I walk into the bedroom. Morgan is like now way more like lethargic and like just chilling out.
I'm about to put my mouth tape on and my eye mask.
And I'm putting on my best game here. I'm walking into the room like, honey. And she goes, I can. I've accumulated a headache.
I did not
We have known each other for 15 years, and I have not once heard her use the word accumulated. I'm not kidding. She puts her hand on top of her head and she goes, honey, I've accumulated a headache. And there's me trying to like take things seriously, and I just cannot. I'm just like, so I'm on the bed going, oh, honey, not a headache, honey. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, we're going to have to see a doctor. You've accumulated a headache. You have accumulated. We can't have any of this. We may have to see a headache specialist. And she's just lying there. Accumulated a headache.
Don't knock the table over again. Oh,
needless to say, we just went to bed after
it's your fault. I don't care. It's your fault. If you kept me waiting for an hour and a half, I did accumulate a headache within an hour and a half.
But were you actually sick, or had you accumulated a headache because of me?
Probably a little bit of both.
Oh, brother.
So, ladies, if you ever need an excuse, just
accumulate a headache.
Accumulate a headache. It wasn't an excuse, though. It was like for real.
And the funny thing is, there was another day, and this isn't a Seriously Award of the Week. There was another day where just in the middle of the day, you didn't want to like get up from the couch for whatever reason. And you were like, honey, I've got an ailment.
I didn't do this again.
The second time you didn't do this. But you said, honey, please feel my forehead or my forehead, because I've come down with an ailment. It's like you've been reading 16th century British novels or something. Like, what is going on here?
Oh,
in the same week, you managed to accumulate a headache and come down with an ailment. So you are the proud owner of this week's Seriously Award of the Week, even though it was my fault.
It was your fault.
You get the award.
That's okay. Wow, I needed that laugh. That was a good laugh. Oh, gosh. All right, that was funny. To wrap up today's show, why don't we read some more of our reviews? Because we cried last night when we read some of our reviews. All 5 of them that we got this past week. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, while you pull it up, please search The Seriously Show wherever you get your pod. You're obviously listening to it right now. So scroll on into that review section, give us a little 5 stars and say, yo, I've got an ailment or something.
This is what they say, 5 stars. Can't help but laugh. I love this pod. Ron GC says this. You can feel how much you two enjoy being around each other. The back and forth banter is so fun and silly, and I find myself laughing out loud. Let's just wait until you hear the joke. I've come down with an ailment. Okay, anyways. Today, I was loading the dishwasher and started laughing, and my son looked at me like I was a crazy person. LOL. I'm excited to have another lighthearted podcast to add to the mix.
Woo!
So
I do like being around you.
I like being around you too.
I mean, there's a 17.45% chance that that's from a family member, but we are claiming it.
I don't think so. I don't know any Ron GCs in my family.
Yeah, me neither. Thank you, Ron GC.
See you next time on Seriously.